I'm an LA local. I live and work in Los Angeles. I saw the fires. We were very concerned, like everyone else. Unfortunately, people did lose their homes, their properties, and some people lost their lives. And some people reached out asking me what should they do about their property damage claims. Well, there's a couple things that you should be aware of. If you have a homeowner's policy, you would make the claim with the homeowner's policy, and you have options. Do you need an attorney or a public adjuster? Not always. It depends on the situation. There are some lawyers or public adjusters that I've seen advertising already. And what is the difference? So what is a public adjuster? A public adjuster is not a lawyer. They're usually a private independent adjuster that's working on your behalf, just like an insurance company has an adjuster working on your behalf. And they'll get the paperwork, they'll collect the evidence, they'll present the claim on your behalf. If you have the time, you could probably do this work as long as you get a good contractor or somebody to talk about the cost to replace your home. And you have some familiarity with reading your homeowner's policy and what's covered or not covered. A public adjuster is not an attorney. So that means that if the insurance company starts jerking you around, they don't want to pay, they're delaying, or they lowball you completely unreasonably, the public adjuster can't file a lawsuit. So that's when it's beneficial, likely, to hire a lawyer or speak to a lawyer. It's when you're getting jerked around and they don't want to pay, or they're telling you something about your policy that you think is incorrect. An attorney can not only do what the public adjuster is doing, but they can also file a lawsuit. And they can file a lawsuit called a bad faith lawsuit, which is shorthand for when the insurance company is not treating you fairly and they're violating the contract. Another claim that could be possible is for your automobile. So some people have coverage on their auto insurance in the event that their vehicle gets damaged for things like fire. If you have that coverage, oftentimes it's just a matter of presenting the claim, and then the insurance company will, if it's a total loss, which I imagine it would be, they would come back and give you comparable vehicles, and it's usually not too difficult to negotiate with them. And oftentimes you don't need an attorney to negotiate something like that. A couple other things to be aware of is that many public adjusters and attorneys are going to charge you a percentage for the work they do, so you want to be aware of that and want to make sure it makes sense for your situation. Separately, there is a lawsuit that was filed against Edison related to the Eaton fire. And some of the allegations is that Edison didn't maintain equipment, didn't shut off the power lines, and essentially caused the fire. There are multiple causes of action, which are reasons for suing Edison, but it all stems from this idea that Edison didn't do what they were supposed to do to prevent the fire, and they're the cause of the fire. That is separate from making a claim against your homeowner's policy for your property damage. Oftentimes, when you make a claim against your own insurance company, it's limited by the contract. The damages are limited to whatever you agreed based on the coverage. In a case with Eaton Fire and you're suing Edison, the damages can be more broad and they're not limited by the coverage that you contracted because it's a lawsuit against Edison. Also, because you're suing Edison and there's many things that need to be proved, that lawsuit can take a long time. It could be years before anybody sees money, and Edison could win the case if they have evidence that they did not start the fire or they did everything they were supposed to do. So there's going to be a lot of investigation, experts. There's going to be a lot of fighting in courts about that case. Most likely, the people filing the homeowners insurance claims, you're going to see that money first before the Edison claim, or they may end up getting additional money from Edison. It's similar to the Maui fires that took a long time in order to get money because there's a lot of litigation that gets involved. The homeowners policies often will get resolved by just negotiating with the insurance company, providing paperwork and phone calls and things like that. So that is why it often gets resolved sooner than the Edison, which is already in court. It's going to require litigation, discovery, depositions, and that's why it takes much longer, and it's not anywhere close to guaranteed. If anybody has questions about their particular case and want to speak to me about it, what they should do, feel free to reach out, call my firm, 888-712-0017.